Israel has exerted considerable pressure on Russia not to sell its S-300 missile defense system to Iran. Vladimir Korenkova believes he has experienced such pressure. He is the former head of Basalt, a Russian weapons manufacturer that has developed the RPG, or rocket-propelled grenade. He believes he became the target of a smear campaign by American and Israeli intelligence services. He believes the development of this weapon was behind the campaign. It's called the Hashem RPG-32. Probably the most effective anti-tank RPG in the world. It is an advanced model of the RPG-29, which has been used with deadly effect against American tanks by fighters in Iraq. The Israelis have also suffered from the power and accuracy of the RPG-29. In its 2006 war in Lebanon, some 50 of Israel's main battlefield Merkava tanks were destroyed or disabled as a result of being hit by rockets fired by Hezbollah fighters. Korenkova believes he was a victim of the success of the weapon.
В 2006 году мы продемонстрировали RPG-32 на выставке.
In 2006, we showcased the RPG-32 in Abu Dhabi and Amman, Jordan. A month later, my persecution started. The authorities threw me in jail without any evidence. This coincided with the Israeli war with Hezbollah, in which the world media highlighted the superior performance of the RPG-29 against the Israeli tanks. In August, they put me in a mental asylum and then transferred me back to jail. I was later able to prove my innocence and regain my freedom.
Korenkova believes American and Israeli intelligence services pressured the Russian authorities to imprison him. He believes the aim was to punish his company for its development of the Hashem RPG-32 with Jordan.
Это первый в мире мультикалиберный гранатомет.
It is the first anti-tank rocket launcher with varying sizes of rockets. It weighs less than 3 kilograms.
Для тяжелых танков, там типа Меркава, например, или...
And is no longer than 350 millimeters and easy for a fighter to carry. If the target was a Merkava or American tank, you can choose the appropriate rocket size for it. The rocket can penetrate 1 meter into a tank, such as the type used by NATO. This was demonstrated in Jordan to His Highness King Abdullah II.
Присутствие Его Величества короля Абдаллы II был пробит блок.
The Hashem RPG-32 was developed by Basalt on request and under contract from Jordan. Jordan's King Abdullah visited the Basalt Institute and the firing range in the suburbs of Moscow.
I can now reflect on the quagmire in which I was embroiled after 2005. This is when we increased our activities in the Arab market, especially after the joint Russian-Jordanian project to develop the Hashem RPG-32. This is when the pressure mounted, and I was framed and several legal cases were brought against me, which resulted in my incarceration.
Korenkova believes he was a target of the US and Israel, who sought to undermine the development and obstruct the delivery to the Middle East of the RPG-32. Something analysts in the Middle East might agree with.
There is a concerted effort by the US and the West to check the spread of weapons to resistance groups and others that could threaten Israel. The focus is not just on Palestine, but neighboring countries as well, even those which are allies of the US and the West. Many weapons are blocked because they could affect the strategic balance of power, the balance of power between Israel and those countries.
In April 2009, the Israeli media reported that Tel Aviv was to sell pilotless drones to Russia in exchange for Moscow suspending the sale of the S-300 missile system to Tehran. Russia's former Joint Chief of Staff believes the deal is indicative of Israel's influence within Russia's defense industry.
которое буквально 4 года назад приняло решение.
7 years ago, a decision was made to stop manufacturing unmanned drones because their use was deemed unnecessary for the Russian army. Now they want to buy them from Israel. The Russian military industry is infiltrated by an Israeli lobby, not only when it comes to decisions pertaining to sales and procurements, but also in the innovation of Russian scientists and how they manufacture weapons. If the technology exceeds the performance of US or Israeli weapons, then the project is cancelled.
Они просто блокируются. Вот хороший пример.
Iran's missile procurement from Russia has unsettled American-Russian relations in recent years. In March 2009, US Secretary of State Hillary Clinton presented Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov with a little something to symbolize improved ties.
We want to reset our relationship.
Let's do it together.
We worked hard to get the right Russian word. Do you think we got it?
You get it wrong.
I got it wrong.
Around the same time, US President Barack Obama reportedly sent a secret letter to Russia's president suggesting he would back off from deploying a new missile defense system in Eastern Europe if Moscow helped stop Iran from developing long-range weapons.
Совершенно очевидно, что было письмо, я бы не сказал, что секретное письмо.
It was a clear message, not classified, but directed at Mr. Medvedev through diplomatic channels. It was a cunning suggestion. Barack Obama implied that if Russia could convince Iran to stop their nuclear project, the US would reconsider its plan for a European missile defense shield.
То мы передумаем размещать системы ПРО в Европе.
Russia has been developing its own armaments just in case. Tests have been carried out on a new intercontinental missile called Topol. Russia has welcomed the US decision announced by Obama several weeks ago to shelve plans for the Europe missile system. But the Topol remains as an insurance policy. In the first week of June 2009, Israel conducted the largest civil defense drill in its history. Codenamed Turning Point 3, the simulation was based on a scenario of a combined missile and rocket attack on Israel from Iran, Syria, Lebanon and Gaza. Planners explained that the exercise, although a simulation, was not a fictional scenario. The national drill involved emergency response teams, all government ministries, as well as the entire civilian population. People were asked to seek refuge in secured rooms or bomb shelters at the sound of the sirens, all to test the nation's preparedness for war.
الإيديولوجية والعقيدة العسكرية الإسرائيلية هو الاستعداد للأسوأ.
The Israeli military thinking is to be prepared for the worst-case scenario, which could amount to missile strikes deep within the country. Thus, it is able to prepare its citizens for a large number of Iranian attacks.
عدد كبير من الضربات الإيرانية.
Israel uses every minor incident to rebuild its aura and image of invincibility, which it lost because of its defeat in the 33-day war against Lebanon and the 22-day war on Gaza.
Besides testing the civilian population, the Turning Point 3 drill was also designed to measure the degree of coordination between Israel's armed forces. Amid the drill and the debate it generated, military analyst Yossi Melman wrote a newspaper article in which he put himself in the place of the National Security Advisor of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
Israel should attack Iran because it's building nuclear weapons, because it's saying that Israel doesn't have the right to exist, and yet I'm saying don't attack Iran unless you want to do other things as well. And I'm saying this should be the last option, not the first option.